would you do for an extra $100? What about $1,000 or $5,000? Well, what if you could get it for free, all with the click of a mouse? In our special series, Unclaimed, we learned that's exactly the case for people across the U.S., including here in Indiana.
I'm looking for a Laura Ann Sims. Is she at this address?
Laura Brashear was caught off guard when we knocked on her door, especially since we used a name she hadn't heard in years.
This is under your name. I guess it's under your maiden name, he said. Sims?
S-I-M-M-S.
That's you, right? Laura Ann Sims?
The Indiana Unclaimed website lists money waiting for Hoosiers to claim. It's like a treasure chest waiting to be discovered. It's money from uncashed employment checks to dividend and stock money. However, it sits untouched because the state can't find its rightful owner. So we searched for some Valley residents to inform them of their windfall.
I wouldn't have known otherwise.
Laura says she checked the Indiana Unclaimed registry before, but she searched her married name and it turned up empty.
And these things go back to when I was in college, before I was married 32 years ago.
That's one obstacle the Attorney General's office faces. It can't locate people once names or addresses change. We even tried sending letters to people at former addresses. Most were returned. Paul Cardwell had no clue he had money in the database.
According to our records, I believe that you're owed $3,164.83.
That's pretty cool. And where do I get that?
Paul says the money was listed under a former address and he never thought to search it. But now he already knows how he'll spend his findings.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad. It's kind of like having hidden money. I'd say the other thing would be I can put some of that towards some personal things and then maybe reinvest $1,000 or so of it.
Last year, the Attorney General's unclaimed property paid 1,615 claims to 9 counties within the Wabash Valley and added up to more than $1,225,000. Now, getting married or moving isn't the only challenge when it comes to locating people. Tomorrow, we'll take a look at a major problem the state faces in returning unclaimed money. Now, in the meantime, if you'd like to see if you're entitled to money, we've linked you at mywabashvalley.com. In our special series, Unclaimed, we're searching for Valley residents on the Unclaimed database. The Attorney General's office faces challenges locating people after they move or get married. But that's not the only problem. Tonight, we examine what happens if you find money for someone who's passed away. As we search for Valley residents on the Indiana Unclaimed database, we hit many roadblocks. But we weren't expecting the response we heard when looking for Janie Mitchell. We believe that Janie had about $2,400 that's owed to her. Janie died in September, 3 weeks after being diagnosed with cancer. The Attorney General's office says you can still claim property after a loved one dies.
We have a process in place. It is going to be a little bit more complicated because we need to work through, was there a will? Is there an estate in place that says who the money should go to? And we have an attorney that works with people to help them through that process.
We found Janie's daughter, Meg Sparks. The Bloomington resident got a chuckle at the news.
It's an amazing thing because my mom, she called me probably 5 years ago, if that long, and she tells me, make sure you go onto this website and look at this website.
She says her mom would have been excited with the discovery.
She would have said, we're off to Vegas. She loved to gamble.
After we contacted Meg, she began her own research on the Indiana Unclaimed database.
After you guys called us about this, I got online. I looked for me, I looked for my husband, I spent 4 hours on there. It's almost kind of like a treasure hunt.
And she found more treasure. Her brother is also listed. However, he has multiple sclerosis and doesn't have all the required documentation needed to make a claim.
It's going to be hard to figure it all out and find proof and verification of all of it, but yeah, it's just kind of fun, and it's a little exciting that, hey, he's got money from 15 years ago.
The Attorney General says in these cases, their office will work with you so you can make a claim.
What we absolutely don't want to do is give the money to the wrong person, and so that's why we have a system in place to make sure it's going to the rightful owner.
After discovering 2 of her family members, Meg advises others to check the Indiana Unclaimed website.
Check it and check it frequently.
Meg tells me she was able to find the needed documentation for her brother's claim. She's now waiting to receive both checks. And while learning about the Indiana Unclaimed database, we learned there's an office that keeps all of the physical property that's unclaimed. And tomorrow we'll take you inside the unclaimed room. To find a link to the database, visit our website. And it's important to note, make sure you're going to the Attorney General's website. There are some other lookalikes that are frauds. As we search for Valley residents on the Indiana Unclaimed database, we merely scratched the surface. We learned there's more than $250,000 unclaimed dollars. And when we visited the Unclaimed Property Division in Greenwood, we saw the rooms of items waiting to be claimed.
A lot of what the Attorney General's office does is warn people about frauds and scams. So we're comfortable with everybody having a healthy dose of skepticism. That's good, but we do want to make them aware that this program is a good thing and they shouldn't shy away from it.
Molly Butters from the Indiana Attorney General's office wants more Hoosiers to claim their property. The state is holding $350 to $400 million of unclaimed property. You can see from the file room there are lots of Hoosiers who need to claim everything from their uncashed employment checks to dividend and stock money.
The dollar values range from anywhere between $10 and $10,000 or more.
But it's not just money waiting to find its owner.
Physical property that was left behind at a bank lockbox, and the banks turned it over to us after a period of time. I think more than 2 million actual items that are available for claiming.
And you'll find quite an assortment, everything from jewelry to silver coins and a chest of silver serving items. We even found a vintage baseball card collection, including signed baseballs dating back to the 1940 Cubs. There was also an autographed Gerald Ford football card. The state holds property for 25 years. After that, it becomes property of the state, and any value is added to the General Education Fund. Monetary property can also earn interest. The state keeps that as well. So it's important to check the website.
Check regularly and check often, and check for your friends and family.
And when doing this story, I checked for my family. I found my brother and parents along with some cousins on the site. New property is released every year, so even if you claimed property, there's a likely chance your name could reappear. In our area, new properties are published in early fall, so you should check every year. Claims should take no more than 90 days to process. To check, we've linked you at mywabashvalley.com.